might as well talk about it because I literally sat up and watched all 6 episodes today. If you guys are new here, though, my name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related. And without further ado, let's get into it. We are talking about the Netflix limited series Eric that premiered today, May 30th. Whose tagline states the real monsters aren't under the bed. And before I did this, I did a little short for TikTok. Friend, I just finished it myself, and I just have a lot to say about it and a lot to think. There were so many subplots and other storylines going on within the main story that I feel like it was a little bit muddied. It did hold my attention and hold my interest all 6 episodes. I really just was watching to see if we would get resolution, right? The main storyline did get lost in a myriad of other really, really interesting but kind of distracting storylines. But I was thinking about what really interlaced or connected all of these stories, right? Because we do have the dynamic of two mothers, right? Whose boys went missing. We have the element of secrecy and lies, right? And holding the truth away from those that you care about. But then there's also this thing of like corruption, right? And, and again, while all the individual storylines were seemingly interesting enough, I still feel like the main storyline got muddied. Like, I would have liked us to delve super deep into Vincent, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. I would have really loved to go deep with his internal struggles and his mental health and the drug issues. You know what I mean? But I do feel like a lot of that was glossed over by his mini monologues, right? But let's get into kind of a recap of the season and let's just talk about it. And I would love for your comments down below. So let me know what you thought of this series. And before I get off deep into here, honey, spoiler filled, okay? Because why? Spoilers are what I do. All right. And if you've been here for any length of time, you already know. Let's get right into it. McKinley Belcher III, Gabby Hoffman, and Benedict Cumberbatch. And we were not failing or short on talent. Okay. That was never it. That was never what it gave. Okay. A talented cast, again, to tell this story. So again, basically the premise is we have this man who is a puppeteer, famous, right? He started a kids show that's kind of like Sesame Street, right? You can relate it to that. And he is thrown into his work. He loves it. He's a talented artist, all of the things. And he has this son. And so we meet him very early on, and the son has gone to work with him. And we see that while the father seems to be making an effort to be in his son's life, he's there, but he's not really present. You know what I mean? And you can see that his little boy is really vying for his attention. And when they get home, it's super contentious. He and his wife, played by Gabby Hoffman, do not get along. They do not like each other. Okay, this is not that. And so we find the son, Edgar, really kind of in that place where a lot of kids are, where the parents don't like each other. And he's really just trying to find his way. And so almost immediately, right, he's missing. And we don't know why. And there's so many suspicious people. In that first episode, you're going to be like, where the heck is this story going? I don't trust anybody. I ain't trust the mama. I ain't trust Vincent. I ain't trust the homeless man. I didn't trust anybody. Okay. And for good reason, because that was probably another common theme. Everyone is super flawed. So once Edgar goes missing, we meet Detective LaDroit, right? And he comes in and he is just trying to figure it out. He's from the missing persons unit, but he's got his own secrets, right? Because it's the 80s and he's gay and closeted. Nobody knows but him and his partner, okay? And his partner's at home dying of AIDS, unfortunately. And he's kind of, nursing him to health and kind of dealing with the stigma of that at home while trying to find these missing people. But within the story, we kind of later discover that Detective LaDroit wasn't always who he is today. Okay. It seems like he had some sort of past, as he is also looking for another young man, which brings him to this gay club, right? Where apparently he used to know the owner. And I think he knew him biblically. All right. And so as the story progresses, we're now not only looking for Edgar, we're also looking for another young man that's gone missing, right? And so, again, that kind of dynamic we're going through. Also, back on the home front, the wife now is looking at Vincent crazy because where is my son? Why are you lying? What's really going on? And all the while, this figure that the son had drawn and been trying to show his dad, Vincent, comes to life in Vincent's mind. And so now Vincent has, I don't know if it's not an angel, this little devil on his shoulder, but a full 7-foot monster, right? That he can see, only he can see. And basically he's telling him everything wrong with him. This is what you did wrong. You're a loser. You're no good. You're all that. And so now Vincent is dealing with that, but also his wife now, because what's your blood type? Because we found the baby's shirt and it's got blood on it. So what really happened? And so throughout the series, it's just like, why did you lie about that, buddy? But so we do that. And then we also come into proximity of corruption, politicians, other cops that are dirty. Again, there's just so many storylines throughout this series. It's like, can we just get to where the baby is? Where is Edgar? And so I believe during maybe the 4th episode, we find out that Edgar is alive and well, and he's being taken care of by this homeless guy, who now wants a ransom, but he's got a partner who is a crackhead, clearly, and she wants to sell him. She wants to sell Edgar. And the is like, no, I'm not going to let you sell him. You know what I mean? I'm going to take care of him. We're going to collect this ransom and we're going to be fine. But we know that never goes according to plan. Also, we have Vincent, who comes from a very affluent family, but he's disowned his parents. And his parents don't think too much of him either. And could it be because of his drug abuse? Could it be because of his destructive behaviors? You know, what really is the reason? I think he's just unhinged and it's never been addressed. It's like all of his fears and doubts were externalized and he created this character. Basically, I don't know if it was to show him himself, you know what I mean? And maybe there is some deep existential meaning that's just not coming across to me, because I really wanted us to dive into that more. But like I said, it was interesting beginning to end. We ultimately find Edgar. We get resolution. The detective does the right thing and turns over evidence that we need to get rid of the corrupt cops and the corrupt politician. But the black mama's still without her baby, you know? And of course they get their baby back. But we also found out that Vincent's wife had a whole affair and was pregnant by a whole other man in the neighborhood. And that man done been in their house. It was just, you know, and so y'all let me know what you thought of it, okay? Again, like I said, it was interesting. It did hold my attention because I wanted resolution for each and every one of these stories.